starts going, which is good. Oh no, what's happened here? Where'd everyone go?
We're still here. I can see you.
Yep, beauty. But me streaming things disappeared. Like the program I use to stream.
You're live on YouTube right now, brother. I can see it.
Can you see us though?
Oh, actually, no, it's a black screen. I can see.
I can see all of these, man.
Oh, yeah, but I'm just having a look actually on YouTube itself. Well, at least yeah. Hey, there's Lucky.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
What about now? Can you see us now?
Yep, it's coming up on YouTube, Jake. There you go, look.
Beautiful. Alrighty, let me have a bit of a...
Jake, it's like a heart screen.
Yeah,
have a look at that.
Yeah, doing all that now. Making it a bit
Hey,
better.
YouTube,
I need a crash course. There we go. Now, hopefully, that'll all adjust and everything. There we go. As people are coming into the chat, this is very, very exciting. What I need to do is just not press anything, and I'll go on the old YouTube and see what's happening here. And, of course, with every live stream and everything like that, everyone gets a proper introduction. And I apologise if I pronounce your name wrong, Ryan.
Yeah.
Alrighty, everyone. It appears to be hopefully jumping in. Everyone's tried to share it. We've already been called steroid monsters already in one of the arm wrestling group chats. So that was nice of them. All four of us. So yeah, jeez. My apple and ginger juice is absolutely working. So
Hey, keep doing what you're doing. I saw your left arm super match the other night. You put up a pretty good fight.
Oh yeah, man. I need to take the training part a bit more seriously. Put the microphone down and get into the gym. So that's the way it is. Alrighty.
Just gave it a couple of shares for you, Jake. Hopefully we get a few in there.
Yeah, beautiful. We'll probably give it another 60 seconds, those that are in the chat, and then I will do the whip around. There's just something about arm wrestlers and doing interviews in the car. That's, I reckon, about 80% of interviews. All right. Arm wrestlers in cars.
I'm at work. I got to work an hour early just so I can make it.
Oh, no, really, really appreciate it. Really appreciate it.
No, all good. All good. I just don't want to go into work yet, that's all.
Working on Good Friday.
Yeah, that's where the money is, man. $100 an hour today.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
Some people have the life. Alrighty. Hopefully people will start jumping in. Alrighty, we'll do the whip around. We'll get everyone to say hello and flex. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a special edition of the Ready Bay. This is an ultimate live stream. Have I got a star-studded lineup for you? We'll start with, of course, the man that runs pound for pound arm wrestling. I've accidentally coined the phrase blue balls to him when he was the first ever guest on the Aussie Arm Wrestler podcast, but that has absolutely blown up. The trolls have just hook, line and sinkered onto that, but he is a huge supporter of what the Aussie Arm Wrestler does and has had an amazing pin, and in my eyes, the number one arm wrestler in Australia, which we will talk about in a moment. Hold back, gentlemen, hold back, as Lachlan rolls his eyes and almost gets dizzy. But Ryan Bowen, welcome to the live stream.
Well, thank you for having me on, man. It's always a pleasure to be on the Aussie Arm Wrestlers YouTube channel. I enjoy it every time, man, so thank you.
Beautiful. And then I'm not sure, and then if you look directly below me, we probably have the most frustrated...
That makes sense, given that I'm apparently the number one. The Lachlan's down there on the screen.
Blue, go back!
I'm going to get you for that.
Now, speaking of that, he is below me. He's probably the most frustrated, the most angry man, the shittest luck when it comes to arm wrestling. Organise this match with you and you will win by COVID forfeit. what he achieved in 3 days that took the Aussie arm wrestler a year, and that's 1,000 subs. His YouTube channel is going to blow up. It'll be very, very interesting. This man pulls no punches. Lachlan Adair, welcome to the live stream.
Hey, man. How you doing?
Absolutely loving it. Can't wait to get your take by me calling Blue the #1 arm wrestler.
You're a shit stirrer.
Now, we've got if everyone's looking, no, this man isn't wearing a mask. That is a proper tattoo. This man competed in Worlds in 2019 over in Romania. He is, I believe, runner-up or even maybe won a hand in the Oceania super heavyweights at Arnold's. This guy is so big, he has more X's on his shirts than Taylor Swift has boyfriends. I'm telling you now, this guy is a massive unit, and he is joining us all the way from New Zealand. Watch me butcher his first name. Maatewarangi Heta Morris. Mate, tell us all. He's the beast. He is the beast. I'm calling him the beast throughout the thing. Mate, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me on, man. Thanks for making my first appearance.
We need to see a bit more of you. You're absolutely strong. Now, gentlemen, I've got you all on because the chat is gone. For those that don't know, let me describe it. Lachlan had a super match organised, and you wouldn't believe it, it got cancelled again because he was 8 hours late to the party. Blue got excited and went to Perth early. Worked out for him. So Lachlan was supposed to pull the milkman. Ryan Scott, Lachlan has been chasing this match. If you're on Facebook, that's been going absolutely nuts. Absolutely nuts. So Lachlan flies over to Perth and it gets cancelled. This was supposed to be the #1 arm wrestler in Australia. This is something Lachlan has been chasing for. And then COVID just went, oh, sorry, is Lachlan in Perth? Sorry. No, you're not pulling. Can't pull Todzilla. Can't pull Ryan Scott. So then Ryan Bowen was there and took the match and ended up with a very dominant performance to beat the official #1 arm wrestler in Australia. I'm very old school. I'm very Ric Flair. To be the man, you got to beat the man. And that's what Ryan Bowen has done. So I'm going to start with you, the Beast. I'm starting with the Beast. I want some neutral ground. You are Switzerland when it comes to this conversation. You have dealt with these gentlemen very closely. You have pulled them both quite frequently. The Beast. What is... tell me, mate, tell me. What's going on with... who's #1 in Australia?
Well, you beat Ryan Scott, so he was... And a lot of people's eyes, #1. But there's multiple reasons why he's #1. He's had wins, #1 wins a bit more consecutively. He's done it for a longer time. So I feel like Bowen has put himself quite far up there with that win. To say #1, I think there's still got to be a couple more wins. Ben Carroll, yep, he's definitely one to chase down, but it is between Ryan Bowen, Lachlan, and Ben Carroll, and until that order is sorted, I think that's when 1, 2, and 3 become official.
Oh, shots fired. Now, apparently in the live stream, I'm having a bit of trouble with my audio, so I'm not sure what's going. Everyone can hear everyone else but me, so I might have a bit of play around with that. No, I've got everything all hooked up. That's all right. People can just turn it up. Anyway, I'll keep moving on. So you think Ryan Bowen's #1?
No. I think. And this is a fair opinion. I'd have to say it's Ben Carroll is still up there, would still be up there, and then I would have to say between Lachlan and Ryan Bowen for #2.
Lachlan and Ryan Bowen for number 2. Now, speaking of Lachlan, I'll get you to wait and I'll talk to Ryan Bowen. Oh, the next time Lockie sees me, he's going to throw me through a roof. This is fantastic. Now, Blue, you've heard it from New Zealand's number 1 arm wrestler. That was another thing I forgot to mention. The Beast here, he's New Zealand's best puller, probably of all time. So when he speaks...
Correct me if I'm wrong, but Maatewarangi, you've never lost in New Zealand, have you?
Not for... It'll be 10 years this year.
Yeah. So, yeah, definitely number 1 in New Zealand.
Yeah. So Ryan, you go out and beat the best, and then some people are still saying that you're still not number 1. Aussie Arm Wrestler thinks you are. You call it an interim number 1, put it an asterisk next to it. You've done a few Facebook posts. Some of it can be a bit vague. Could have been an April Fool's joke. Let us know what's your take on it all.
Yeah, look, it was the most bizarre set of circumstances I've ever had leading up to a match. As you said and described in the opening, this was almost 2 years in the making. The chasing down of this match for Lachlan against Ryan was near 2 years in the making. It was COVID killed Arnold's Classic last year. From that moment there, Lachlan was trying to get a super match. And Ryan was, at the time, the reason there was so much build-up and tension was Ryan made the comments that Lachlan wasn't worthy of the super match at the time. So that was the start of it. And this tension grew. This tension group was so hard. People were blocked on Facebook. We got unblocked eventually. We talked through third parties. It was one of the most intensive negotiations of a super match I've ever experienced in my life, being involved in it as a promoter. So I flew over there, as you said, to film this match, thinking this is going to be one of the most intense build-up super matches ever. So I feel absolutely awful that it fell over the way it did, and that I cleaned up the scraps. Like it was.
Hey, man.
It was a really bizarre way for it to come about. But honestly, coming in, when I look at what I felt in Ryan, and what I know is in Lachlan, I'll tell you right now, Lachlan would have toyed with Ryan. He would have hit him the first round and busted him back and gone, oh, okay, did Ryan miss the jump or something? And then he would have gone, all right, just held center and then kind of done that. And then third round, I don't know. Lachlan would have crushed the match. And it's no slight on Ryan. Ryan's an awesome arm wrestler, but I don't know whether it's the progress of myself and Lachlan has gone significantly past that Ryan has not been training as much. But as a result of it, it's lovely that some people see me as the technical number 1, and it's cool. But within myself, no way. I agree with Maatewarangi that it's still undetermined. I think, in fairness, both Ben's got the most runs on the board. Lachlan has the next most runs on the board, and then there's me. But it isn't official. I don't think you can unequivocally say any one of those 3 guys is the number 1. You can take your bets, and you can say Ben's probably the favorite, Lachlan's the next most favorite, and then there's me. So I think it's open at the moment, and we just got to have those matches. I'd like to face both of those guys sometime in the next 3 to 6 months or whatever.
Next week? Can you do it in the next week?
Next week, man, I would pull next week, particularly Ben. Given that Lachlan and I are training partners, it's ideal we face Ben first, regardless of the order. I just think it's better that way. It's hard to promote super matches amongst mates. It's hard to stop training and enter this zone of, all right, we're going to kill each other now and all this kind of stuff. So, but yeah, that's kind of where I stand on it. But if you have to say someone's number 1, then look, I'll cheekily take it a couple of times, and then I'll just tell them that I don't actually think it's true.
Yeah, there's a few comments going on. Bevan Lazrink says, why Lachlan looks so pissed? Here we go. Lachlan, take the collar off. I'm letting you run free. Tell us how frustrated you are with this whole situation, and what is your stance on who is number 1? Go.
I think I made that pretty clear how pissed I was with my first video. All that is like that was up here. We've now come down to about here. Ben and I will face off sometime in September. I got a whole bunch of stuff going on. He's got some stuff going on, so we'll work that out at least before the over the top tournament. And with regard to a match with Ryan, we kind of a little bit of bro code going on. We've decided just to leave that for tournaments. Like I said, the way I arm wrestle is I'm just trying to dominate. I find it very difficult for me, the mentality that I take going into it, very similar to powerlifting, where all I want to do is bend the bar in half and just wreck stuff. Okay, so and that's kind of the same way that I approach arm wrestling. I want to take someone off you permanently, and I don't want to do that to a mate, right? And it's very difficult for me to get into that headspace with a mate. So moving on, who do I think is number one? Look, to be fair and to be honest, I think with the way that Ben performed at Zloty, he got fifth in a weight class, in the super heavyweight class of 35 men. Massive, right? He does have the winning record on Ryan Scott, despite the last time they faced in a tournament, Ryan Scott managed to get a cheeky pin on it. But with the history of Ben, mainly judging off Zloty, that being the last time both of us have competed, he did significantly better than I did. So I'm giving the number one spot to Ben Carroll. Out of opinion, do I think I'm strong enough to get him down the way things have gone? Yes. I think that's a good match in my head. But of course, I'm going to say that there's a shit ton of bias to that, obviously. But and then I think Ryan Bowen is a really firm third. You know, I'd love to see Ryan Bowen and Brett Cootes after seeing how he performed against Mario the other day. I do think that Blue has it on him. I think Blue has a lot more finishing power than Mario, having felt Mario recently as well. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at, top four.
Wow, a very tame Lachlan.
Mate's, I've had a couple of days to calm down.
Guys,
I put Mate in with Ben Carroll about the same level. I mean, I know you have the winning record on Ben Carroll, but yeah, I mean, it's all a big question mark how people have progressed. You know, we just don't know. It's been 2 years since any of us have really competed in any way that gives any idea of where we are.
Absolutely, and we'll get to that in a moment. First of all, guys, if get your questions in the chat, I will try and pump them onto these three massive gentlemen. If you haven't already, go to all of their YouTube channels. Get these guys paid. They absolutely deserve it. I see Adam Vandal is in the house. Ryan might know him, but Ryan, you're not the only one. You're not the only one with Western Survivor beef jerky, hey? There's more than one Aussie that can just get it sent to him, hey? Can't wait to have this for breakfast with me beer. So go support Western Survivor. They're doing an arm bet table drawn soon. I've got 3 different flavors. I can't wait to get the super hot one. It's beautiful there. So then, the Beast. So you appear to have a lot of winning records against everyone. You never seem to lose in New Zealand. My tip, leave New Zealand and come move to Australia so we can get some challenges happening.
Yes,
you need to arm wrestle a lot more.
Please come live in Brisbane, but
Yeah.
man, it'd be such a good addition to the club.
You can stay at my house. I'll set a bed up in the gym. It'll be great.
And then if the Beast moves to Brisbane, then that means there's 9 people in Brisbane stronger than Levan. It's fantastic. This will be. But
I've arm wrestled Levan.
You are.
Well, you know, I actually want to mention it. I want to ask you the question, Maatewarangi. You're the only man in this chat that's actually pulled Levan, and from what I saw of it, this was a PAL shared this video a couple of months ago, and it was weird that they shared it trying to accentuate how awesome Levan was, but he only he beat you on elbow fouls, and I'm not saying he wouldn't have beaten you, but you actually looked really solid. Center table, he went sideways and you rolled out, and the slip happened, and they called elbow fouls on you. But your hand and wrist and back pressure actually looked phenomenal when you pulled Levan. So I wanted to ask you, what was that experience like gripping up with Levan, and how did you feel against him?
That was back in 2018. I believe that was in Turkey. And to be honest, I don't think I had much training leading up to it. Feeling his hand was probably the closest I felt to my own hand, I think. And his it just, to be honest, I felt I had an exit point, like there was somewhere to go.
Yep.
And that was back then. I know that now he's a lot stronger, but also now I've done a lot more training as well. Yeah, so it would be nice to, I don't know, one day have another crack at his hand, but yeah, there was a leeway.
Oh, yes! This is so good. Just come on the live stream and just say, oh, I reckon I could have had him if there was no elbow fouls. Oh, my God. Everyone in the chat, tell all your friends that I've got someone actually stronger than Levan on the live stream. Hey!
But legit though, you didn't look out of place. It didn't look like an unbalanced match. It, like I said, had it have gone to straps, it would have been interesting for you. But it's a pity that they just bummed you out on elbow fouls that I personally couldn't even see. But me, it was a really good representation for your level and subsequently all of Oceania's level. That we're right there. At the end of the day, this region has been arm wrestling for what, like 8-9 years now. In a consistent level, and I swear we're at the world level now. Like, I think any of you guys could be top 20 in the world for sure.
Oh, we're making a noise. Does that include me? Was that no? Okay.
Yeah.
I think I was
top
left
20
there.
amateur. Top 20 amateur.
Left amateur champion or something, third place, wasn't it?
Oh, 2019 Melbourne Cup, third place, 80 to 95 kilos, amateur place getter. Just saying, the most coveted trophy in the world. Go and win your hammers, losers. There's a good question in the chat, and we'll go around the room. We'll start with Lockie. It says, question. This is from Arm Wrestling Phils. Question for Lachlan, Ryan, and the Beast. Who would they want to challenge when borders open up, both from the US, Europe / Asia?
I want to arm wrestle a man that looks like a very, very poorly circumcised penis who's forgotten how to brush his teeth. Our good mate, Toddzilla.
Wow. Lachlan does not mess about. Yes! Now, I love the Todd man, but everyone, I mean, you'd be living under a rock if you don't know the history between Lachlan and Toddzilla. Go have a look. Hopefully that's all died, but Lachlan definitely still wants that match. That's what I love. The Beast, who do you want? Overseas. We'll talk about Australia in a minute, because from what I'm hearing, Ryan's still number one. But let's not bring that up again.
I'd like, of course, like I want to arm wrestle Levan again for sure. Yeah.
You guys don't mess about. This is fantastic. Lachlan just calls like world champion circumcised penises, and then the Beast just jumps on him.
Poorly circumcised.
Oh, poorly butchered job, and then Matt gets in there and just goes, well, everyone talks about Levan. I want Levan because he's got holes in his game. This is magnificent. Oh, my God. I've got to stop drooling. Ryan, there's a shout-out here for pound arm wrestling from Daniel Urick, the Timberfaller guy. He got a good discount using Uncle John for pound arm wrestling.
Yeah,
guys,
I think
if you head over to poundforpoundarmwrestling.com for all your merchandise and you type in Ready Bang in the promo code, you'll receive 0 discount. But type in Uncle John, get yourself a good discount. I've got a whole heap of pound equipment. It's It's the balls. It's awesome. Ryan, overseas.
Yeah.
Who do you
You
want?
know, I've been thinking about this a lot, and the answer, I'm not going to go to North America if I had the choice. I've experienced a lot of North American arm wrestling. I'm really keen to experience the European-based arm wrestling and that system. And the reason I want that is to refine my game. I believe that I'm well and truly experienced in the way that Australians and North Americans pull a lot of load in the starts, and I really want to get some experience in that other style of arm wrestling. So my choice would be Ukraine's Bowen Evanenko, who was the 2018 Zloty Tour winner. And I choose him because he's a killer. B, because he appreciates and understands marketing. He's big on Instagram. He's building his brand always. And he had great wars with Dan Mosier as Zloty. And I'd like to pull him, yeah. I think him at around that 90 to 95 kilos category in a 6-round super match would be freaking awesome.
What's the score? What's the score?
Man, you know I'm going to win. Of course I'm going to win. It's going to be 4-2, 5-1, like that.
Oh, my God. Zloty 2 winner, world champion, middleweight hammer holder, super heavyweight competitor, and arguably the world's strongest arm wrestler. These Australians, this is what happens. We don't mess about. We want the best. This is unbelievable. So the Beast, you've got Levan in a 6-round match. What's the score? Say it. You know you want to say it. It starts with a 6 and ends in an O. You know you want to say it.
It does start with a 6, ends with an O. But I mean, yeah, I'll give it definitely to Levan, but the experience and like the honor to arm wrestle the world champion, yeah, of course.
Oh, and Lockie. Oh wow, six rounds. You're pretty confident. So would you win 7-0?
Yeah, but this is where we get reasonable, and we get back in touch with a bit of reality. The Todd Hutchins that was here in Australia is not the Todd Hutchins we see at 250 pounds at belting away with Jerry Carteret. It's a different human. I'm fully aware. Am I strong enough? Again, biased. Of course, I'm going to say yes. His style is like it works really well under mine. So stylistically, and that at strength levels, let's throw that out. Stylistically, I have a style that would do very well against the way he arm wrestles.
I love it how you just go from 0 to 100 and then just back down to 0. You are definitely a parent. You must have a beautiful woman by your side, and then you must be a parent as well, because you're just like, what? No, I'm number one. Everyone eat shit. No. Oh yeah, but stylistically, yes. No, you're right. Yes.
But do I think I can win? Yes.
That is unreal. That is unreal.
I'll give him 1 because he's world champion. So 5-1.
Oh, Adam Wilmot, WAL Puller has just jumped in. G'day to Adam. G'day to Mazzal. Everyone, Mean Machine, Herpes, Aspirinis, Daniel, all you guys, thank you so much for being in the chat. I love all the troll names. There's only one of me, so I'm really upset about that. But Adam said, where to go? Lachlan versus Paul Lynn.
It's a good match. I think we're in different weight categories, and I think I got that.
You know, I actually had Neil pick up message me this morning, and he's trying to put together an Arm Wars card, and he asked me the question, Ryan, do you think Paul Lynn and Lachlan's a match? And the answer I gave him, I said, look, Paul Lynn I say yes, it's a match, but it's a stretch for Paul, in my opinion. And I said, it'll be a match because Paul's on a tear. He's on the way up. He's a killer at that light heavyweight / middleweight division. And I think it'd be a match, but I think that Lachlan's in a different tier of size and subsequent power. I think Lachlan, honestly, is right at home in the WAL super heavyweights. As he is right now, he would be absolutely fine going into any match against any WAL super heavyweight. And I'm not saying that Paul wouldn't either. I think it'll be Lachlan's match to win for sure. Paul might get a cheeky round if he gets the jump. But I think once Lachlan had felt the direction that Paul initiated in, I don't think Paul would be able to do anything. So,
I was meant to go against Paul in Arizona, and he tore something in his elbow, as we know, against Paul Talbot. He was injured, and that blew it apart. Was it Paul Talbot?
Yeah.
His WAL match? Yeah. And he at that point he blew everything apart. That was after, but he declined the match with me at about 2 weeks' notice, and Micah Yellow stepped up. Now, at that time, I was still arm wrestling, two and a half years in the sport, and they give me Micah Yellow. That was always going to be an uphill battle for me. So that obviously went the way that it should have. Not the way I wanted, but let's be honest. But yeah, it was meant to be Paul Lynn. He and I have both been arm wrestling for similar times as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I am in that heavier weight class, and the way I see him arm wrestle, if he top rolls, he's in my fingers, and that's fine. He's welcome to go there. I think that is my match to win.
I know on paper Paul Lynn is ahead of me in the eyes of the WAL, and Neil Pickup has Paul an edge one step ahead of me. But if I give you my honest appraisal on power difference between myself and Lachlan, it's substantial. It really is. It's significant, and so for someone like me or Paul, in my opinion, to get the victory on Lachlan, it's you need to find those outliers that you need to be able to execute not just a little bit better, but you need to totally fool someone and get through the gate before they close the door. So, I just can't see it. So it's no disrespect to Paul, but it's for the same reason I don't say that I believe I can beat Lachlan or that I'm truly the number one in Australia or anything like that. It's for that same reason. And I honestly think that Paul probably sees that. What are you weighing at the moment, Lachlan? 115 or something like that?
But you are number one in Australia, Ryan.
I was 115. Yeah, 115. I kind of go between 113 and 115.
Yep.
What are you weighing, the beast?
I'm about 165.
Let's Levant territory.
And look, you're leaner than you were 2 years ago. 2 years ago, you were about 165, 172, but you are bigger, you are leaner. Your bench press has gone full autistic. What is it, 265 kilos?
Yeah, about around 270 mark now. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. See, I mean, that's...
Yuck!
Yeah.
Oof! That is yuck.
Yeah, the amount of muscle you put on to be able to do that is significantly more than when we faced you last time you were in Australia. You were benching about 240, 245, and when you start getting to those bigger weights, a 30 kilo jump, massive. That's not like going from 100 to 150. That's easy. When you get those higher ranges, it takes me 12 months to add 2.5 kilos to my deadlift.
What's your PBs, the beast? What are your PBs?
Lifting wise, I've got in comp 262.5 kg bench. Incline bench is around 220. Shoulder press is 200. But I can push more than I can squat or pull.
Wow. Adam Wilmot jumped in the chat and he's like, these guys are talking kilos. I weigh that in pounds. You guys are absolute monsters. So just quickly, the beast, because before I want to talk about Ryan Scott and the super match that was on Wednesday, give us a quick rundown on how the best arm wrestler in New Zealand who never loses, how do you train? Specifically, first off, we'll go specifically arm wrestling. I mean, we all see how Ryan and Lachlan train. They post every day, which is great. But how does the beast train?
So I've been arm wrestling for about 10 years now. And when I first started, I started with a mate, and we were both quite hooked on the sport. So we had been training together for about 3 years, every week. And then he ventured off and started doing other sports, and I was sort of left by myself. So I was trying to get as much training for arm wrestling through the gym. And I'd been doing that for about the next 3-4 years. And then I met another guy by the name of Josh Barnett. And we've been training together for about 4 years now. And within the last 6 months, we've only just started getting a club. And our club is at about 20 members now. So this is the most consistent training I've had for arm wrestling, as well as gym training.
See, you're not going to believe it, Beast, but in Australia, we train consistently all the time. So you need to just get your bags and just move over. We know where your loyalties lie and things like that.
I feel like I've proven myself more than enough over there.
No, it's not. I think it's, we know exactly where you
We just
stand.
want to see you pull.
We just want you to come to Brisbane so we can train with you every week. That's all we want.
Yeah.
I think you put the three of us in the same room every week, and holy crap, the results. Can you imagine? No, I mean, I'm a firm believer that quality table time is the best. It's the gold standard of opportunities when it comes to training. So, man. There's nothing better. So, that's why just move to Brisbane. It's pretty simple. It's only like a 3-hour flight from where you are, isn't it?
Just get over, Beast. You need to get over now. And I'm only yelling at you now because you're hundreds and hundreds of kilometres away. Clearly, I wouldn't be speaking to you like this if we were standing next to each other. I'd be like, thanks for coming, Beast. Hi, I'm Jake. I'm the Aussie arm wrestler. We spoke on Zoom and things like that. But I can yell at you now because you're nowhere near me, so it's okay. Alrighty, now, what we need, the big chat at the moment, obviously stirring the pot with who's number one and everything. And everyone, you keep saying it's between Ben, it's between Blue, it's between Lockie. And then there was a really good super match, the House of Pain on Wednesday night. How far does Ryan Scott drop after that match? How far? So we'll start with the Beast. So if you're doing your top 5, top 10, how far does Ryan Scott drop down that list?
I feel like, to be honest, Blue looked about just the same size as Ryan Scott, man, on that video.
There's a 30 kilo difference.
He was 120 kilos, but he was carrying a fair bit of soft stuff around his belly. So physically, like in a muscular sense, I think we were pretty similar. Maybe I
think, let me interject. Let's just say that the form that Ryan Scott was in on that weekend, how do you rate it? Not the form that he could be in, because the form that he was in 2-3 years ago, I would have to say the form that he was in 2 years ago, he and I would have had a good match, and I would have been number one, he would have come number 2. But the form he was in on the weekend, where we put him.
I messaged him after I saw the match, and I said, "Man, you honestly didn't look like yourself."
I said the same thing.
That's not taking any credit away from Blue at all, but Ryan Scott didn't look like himself. I know Ryan Scott. He's got like a little switch and a fire when he's ready.
Well, I'll tell you from the first-hand experience that fire, that switch, it was there until, like, prior to the match. He was in a zone that he had that look in his eye of, I'm going to kill you. He wasn't talking to me. He was zoned the hell in. Everything was on his terms. Like, I was like ready for the match, and it was not until exactly 2 p.m. And when I couldn't even see it, he came walking out of his house, walked straight up to the table, and had the look in his eye of, I'm going to rip your arm off. And honestly, it was then, as soon as round one, as soon as we started negotiating, and as soon as round one happened, it just deflated him entirely, because he could feel what I could feel, which was, I couldn't lose that day. It was pretty comfortable. So the last time I pulled Ryan Scott, he was a chapter ahead of me. Last time I pulled him, he was a significant chapter ahead of me. I think it was 2018 was the last time I pulled Ryan. And now I'm a chapter ahead of him, to be honest. My opinion, I pulled Mario in South Australia about 4 weeks ago. I obviously trained with Lachlan. Based on that data, I put Mario ahead of Ryan Scott. I think Mario would beat Ryan Scott right now. So for me, and given what we just saw with Brett and Mario, I put Brett ahead of Mario, obviously. So I'm the same as what Lachlan held up in his fingers. I think that it's number 6 for me for Ryan Scott right now.
Number 6. What have you got in Beast?
Yeah, I'd put him down to if we're talking about the form that he's in now.
Yep.
I'm thinking 5th or 6th, but I believe he gets another chance. I really do.
Oh yeah.
Oh, of course.
Look,
Course.
I messaged him as well and asked him like what happened, and he just goes, "Oh, I got out arm wrestled through," and he goes, "But I underprepared." Now I made a statement about the change that he's had in his life, very different from the last time we pulled him. The last time that he was good and he was active, he was still a milkman. He was still on the farm. He was still picking up 100-kilo rolls of wire and doing all his fencing without tools and tying it all off with his hands. He doesn't have 8 hours of labor per day in his hands anymore. He's a prison guard. So based on that and the lack of background that he has in building strength, and not really knowing the science of it, not really having any idea what he's doing, and like with respect to what Mate and I do, like it's a science. We know every rep, we know every set, we know how much weight we have to do on a certain day and how it should feel. Ryan Scott hasn't developed that yet. So do I think he was underprepared? And do I think he was prepared at the time? Yes, but he's quickly realised that the approach that Ryan and I have with our training as well is it's really dialed in, and it's really very specific, and we've worked it out for us. I offered to give Ryan 3 months of free programming just to help him get up to par. That would have been specific to him, but he just said, "Oh, I've lost my spark for it." I went, "All right, well, once you get that back, let me know."
So then that leads into my next question. I'm glad you brought that up, Lockie. Is this the end of the Milkman? Is this?
It's not the end, but it's a chapter for him, and I think he's going to be happy to lay low and work hard, rebuild himself. One of the things that I believe separates myself and Lachlan in respect to where someone like the Milkman is simply that is if you have a look at our goals, if you ask Lachlan myself what our goals were at any time during our arm wrestling career, it's to, especially over the last couple of years, it's to become world champion. Neither of us are chasing the Australian title where Ryan has been. That I think his goal sits at be Australian champion, and that's where it has been. And so just that difference, it comes with a different work ethic, and it comes with just a different obsession, a different level of obsession. And I think Ryan got to the top, and it's hard to stay at the top of anything. He got to the top of the goal that he was looking for. He was very dominant in Australia for a significant period of time, and has very, very significant pins and respect from, I know Devon rates him highly, Lars Rabakin rates him highly. Anyone who's touched Ryan Scott's hand understands it. But with COVID and all that, he, I think that his motivation's clearly not been the same as myself and Lachlan. And we saw that in the super match, and he'll come back. But
I think he'll come back. So. Like once our events and everything kind of gets back to normal, and we have some sort of solid, I don't know, like we can rely upon events going ahead like we once used to. Once that starts happening, I think we'll start seeing a resurgence of Ryan Scott to the form he was once in, and hopefully and potentially higher than he was before.
Now, if anyone in the comments trains with Ryan Scott, or if the Milkman is just doing a ninja and watching this live stream, we hope you stay in the sport. Don't get any of these words muddled up. Everyone still rates you as an arm wrestler. You just
100%.
You just took a big loss. You probably took a loss to the most hated arm wrestler in the world, and that's just the way it is. So it is definitely heightened up. Before we get to the Brett Mario match, I just wanted to ask Ryan, because I'm not sure if you're aware, Ryan. So, some parts of the arm wrestling world don't like you. I'm not sure if you're aware. What was there? Now the Western Australian guys are really good and everything, but going into Ryan's home ground, the shed and everything, was there any tension or anything? Was there any awkwardness?
There was to a degree. As I said, the build up to this match was a long build up of significant tension, and people were upset and whatnot. But at the end of the day, we're all good, and everyone is buddies, and we're all there to help each other with the sport, enjoy the sport, and there was no disrespect. The tension in the room for me over there was actually more so on the fact that I felt bad for the dude below me, that it wasn't him. People have said to me, Ryan, you were very, very quiet in the match. You didn't celebrate. Your body language was really strange. Was there tension? And my body language was trying not to shit on the fact that it should have been this guy and get all excited. So I was like, it was weird winning the match for that reason. It was just so there was no tension between me and Ryan. We had a good beer afterwards. We had a laugh and everything, and I did plenty of after pulling with everyone, and I did what I always do with everyone, which was stonewall them for as long as I can in an after pull, and then I helped them with arm wrestling technique, and I spent the 2 hours on the table. My arm was trashed and had a great time. But honestly, everyone over there is lovely. Even the most passionate of the Ryan Scott fans who were barking against me in the build-up and against Lachlan in the build-up, they're all good.
Yeah,
No
I thought that may have been the case. Speaking to a few of the Western Australian guys, the last couple of months, I mean, you got to go for your hometown guy. They train with him. But I'm not going to lie. I laughed when I watched it live, and you just steamrolled him, and
the room was shocked. The room was very oddly quiet during the match. I don't think any of those guys who were under Ryan in that club expected to see what happened. It was quite bizarre. Kyle Howarth, who hosted Lachlan and myself over there, he was probably the only person that was kind of in my corner, even though he said to me, look, I'm going for Ryan because it's WA, but dude, it's freaking impressive stuff. And he was kind of like, he was the only real one there that was somewhat supporting my efforts.
Now, speaking of impressive stuff, for those that don't know, in Melbourne at my training grounds, we had a fantastic super match between Brett Cootes and Mario Tambakus. Arguably, it depends on whose list, the number 4 and number 5 in Australia, and the number 4 and number 6, they're in that range between, 4 and 6. Brett Cootes has been flying under the radar. I'm lucky enough to speak to him almost on a weekly basis when he comes down. He came in and just absolutely had a left arm and right arm super match with Mario. Now, Mario is no slouch. He is fantastic. And it was 3-1 on the left, 3-0 on the right to Brett Cootes. Now what?
Just quick, I've got to go in 10 minutes.
Yep.
But go on.
Yep, no, that's fine. That's fine. We might even wrap up in 10 minutes. So I'll start with the Beast. First of all, Beast, did you watch this super match? And what do we need? What do we need to just get Brett Cootes just pulling? Because he believes he's number one, and rightly so. He's a phenomenal athlete. Beast, what are your thoughts on the super match, and what are your thoughts of Brett Cootes moving forward?
First of all, Brett Cootes has been number 1, 2, 3, and 4 throughout his whole arm wrestling career in Australia. So respectively, he's still up there. That super match went how I expected it to go. I did think that I did think it was going to be a close one on the left, because I felt Mario at the Arnold's 2019 on the left, and I don't think anyone's gone through my left like that, like just as quick as he did.
I did.
I actually caught you in a hook. You did. And then you got the hit on me because I was beat up after Devon, but then I was able to pull you over. So yeah. That hurt, by the way. Straight through. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I mean different pullers, but yeah, that was a good match. Brett, I feel like Brett and Lachlan would be a nice super match.
We need to see. I asked him, and he just goes, "I'm not ready yet," but yeah, for
sure. Yeah. Well, I'd like to see Lachlan's left with Brett and Ryan's right with Brett.
Oh yeah.
I think that was the idea moving forward, anyway.
Yeah. So what do you think of the match, Lockie? What did you think? Obviously, you watched it. You've got no qualms in hiding. You want to pull anyone and everyone because there's one. Before you go, there's one call out I want to quickly chat about before you leave. But yeah, we'll start with what your thoughts on the Mario Brett match.
Yeah, again, like Mate said, it went as I expected it to. I was surprised that Mario did get one pin on the left. It was really good to see Brett's right hand seemingly back in form. I know right hand isn't as good for Mario, but that's also the case for Brett. So they both prefer their left. Look, Brett Cootes has the winning record on me, so I need to rectify that. I did text him and say, like, I'm super pumped to see you back in form. Love to train and potentially have a match. And he just said, yeah, not yet. We'll train, but I don't want a match yet. I think he needs to get his weight back up to where he's at his strongest, which is about between 105, 110 kilos before he wants to, get up on me. He's 95, between 95 and 100 now. So that's, and we know when Brett's 105 kilos, that's all muscles. Like he's a lean 105.
Oh, 0% body fat. It's amazing. I would absolutely need that. I think we just need the top 4 or 5 in Australia. Just lock you guys in a house for a week, and you guys just constantly pull each other. We'll fly the beast over because he's basically an Australian citizen now. So we'll fly him over, and then the 6 of yous all go to town. That would be unreal. Blue, give us your thoughts on it, and then I want to have a chat to Lockie before he goes.
Yeah, it was a good match for me. I actually think Mario Tambakus was intimidated by the match going into it. Mario's a really interesting guy for me. He's only 24 years old. I think his potential is significantly, it's up there. I believe he's a really good armorist and intuitive, and I actually had him as favourite going in, but I believe he was intimidated by the match, and the reason I say that is just from chats with Mario. He struggles with self-belief at the pointy end of the ranks. He just does, and that I saw that in the match with Brett. He started. Mario's a top roller. And he started in the damn hook. He didn't do the things that top rollers need to do to deny someone like Brett. And he just kind of conceded and he wasn't an arsehole in the setup like he needed to be. So I think he lacked the confidence the venom required. And I think that Mario is strong enough to beat Brett Cootes, which he proved on the left in that round 1. But the consistency in Brett, the presence of mind in Brett to do what he needed to do was there, and once it was in his lane, it was all over. So really impressed by Brett that he did that at 95 kilos because once he got in the hook, man, he looked strong. So yeah.
It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. It was really good to see Brett compete. I've been dying to see Brett compete. I think the last time was Nationals, and he didn't compete in the heavyweights. He competed a bit below in the 90 to 100 kilos, I think it was. So it was awesome to see. And it was also, Mario he's only 24. He just wants to be the best. There's some secret power in his beard, which is amazing. So I'm glad that is going. Now, if you haven't gone over and checked out Lachlan's YouTube channel, First of all, he's got the 1,000 subscribers, so go watch all of his videos so he hits the hours watch so he can be monetized. Not sure why I'm not monetized yet. Very frustrating. But there was a good video that Lockie's put out, and I can see he's getting a little smiley. He knows exactly what we're talking about. He's calling it. He wants to set up a table. Now, I can't remember the order. It was first Ben Carroll come over.
No. So the way it was, again, I was mad. We spoke about this at the beginning of the podcast.
Yeah.
But it was best of three, Mate, then Ben Carroll, then Ryan Scott. And basically it was all going well. It's just 6 rounds for me, obviously. Sorry, Beast. But basically what it would be, like, say if the Beast beat me, he turns around and has to beat Ben Carroll, then Ryan. So it'd become a matter of who was the first person to get a win on everybody else wins the thing.
Oh,
That was the format that I had in my head.
Oh, well, that didn't come out on camera. It came out like, right, this is what's happening to solidify that I'm the best ever. Right. Mate turns up 3-0 off the table. I stay on the table, Ben, and then, yeah, that was.
Yeah, it definitely would have been. Definitely would have been. That was kind of like all going well. That's how it would have gone. But to actually make it like, okay, what were the what ifs? Well, the what ifs were it's a king of the table style thing. Yeah, we're all going to be kind of equally beat up at the end of it, and actually gave Ryan a really good opportunity to come in and sweep the whole thing, going last, having a bit of fatigue. So that was how it was, and I was very aggressive, and I was very, very confident in the outcome of that. However, that's how I could kind of see it going for. If that didn't happen and it gave someone the opportunity to become, that unequivocal champ. Right.
So with the what ifs, the Beast, what if you move to Australia, and what if you are on the table with the Anvil, Lachlan, Adair, and it's 6 rounds? What's the score? You're pulling Lockie 6 rounds before he jumps into work and leaves the chat. Just
he's already beat me 6-0.
Like, I understand that Lachlan has put in a lot of training and I know he's improved quite a bit. And saying that, I have also. I'm going to say 6-0 to myself.
What? Hey!
This is the lights go out on Lockie there.
Yeah. I mean, I say that out of respect,
It's the answer I expected. It's the answer I deserve.
Yeah. But that's my truth. That's my honesty. Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. So then, what happens? What happens in the future now for you, the Beast? People want to know: are you on YouTube? Have you got any matches coming up? Let everyone know how they can go over and support you.
I've thanks to Ryan Bowen. Like we've had multiple phone calls about me setting up my YouTube account. I'm still doing that, buddy.
Yeah.
That's a lot harder than you bloody think it is, man. But
not if you're Lachlan. It took me a year to get 1,000 subscribers. It took Lachlan 3 days.
Yeah,
So I think you'll be right.
The Beast on Facebook and Instagram.
Beautiful, guys. Go check him out. Now, Ryan, you're never short of an opinion. The Beast versus the best man. For those that don't know, Lockie's in the bridal party. Congratulations to Ryan getting married. I heard there is a phenomenal MC coming up for that wedding. But the Beast versus Lockie. Blue, who have you got?
Yeah, look, I put them very much firmly in the same realm of each other now. I think that last time they faced, Lachlan was still a little bit green in terms of his experience in the sport, which I think he's now no longer the case. I think he's now ready. So now I just put them firmly on even ground. The match, I think, would go down to who executes better and who adjusts round to round. I think they'd trade blows, and it could go either way.
Ooh.
I don't know. Honest. That's not. I'm not trying to be friendly or anything. I just.
I'm just blown away that you just didn't say Lockie, like in everything else.
No. Matt's a monster. So
Yeah. Absolutely. Look, guys, we're going on just an hour. Lockie's clocking into work, so I don't want him to get yelled at. I'll whip round the room. Guys, go over to Lachlan Adair's YouTube channel. The guy's made 3 or 4 videos, and it's hilarious already. You know what you get from Lockie, Buff Elon on Instagram and things like that. Go and support everything you can. Lockie wants matches. He's just got the worst luck in the world. Go and support him. Head over to New Zealand. The Beast is trying to get a YouTube channel going on, but I don't think there's any reception in New Zealand, so he has to move to Australia so we can hang out. But yeah, head over to his Facebook, head over to his Instagram and help the guy out. And of course, Pound for Pound Arm Wrestling is becoming the Nike of arm wrestling world. I am very lucky to be sponsored by the show, but if you go back through the archives of the Aussie Arm Wrestler, I have always flown the flag for Blue and believed in everything that he is doing. Gentlemen, I know how busy the 3 of you are. The Aussie Arm Wrestler absolutely appreciates you guys coming on the live stream. Have you got any final words?
Let's be up that Maatewarangi Levan match. That's the.
Well,
Look at him, Mate's like, you guys make me say some shit.
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't think I have a shot against them. I feel like maybe in the distant future,
you got the right attitude, though. That's the thing. Yeah, the common thing that you see amongst the 3 of us online here is that we're unafraid to have those experiences that will make us grow. We're not protecting losses or wins or anything. We just want to be the best we can, and I think their world titles will come from this region in the near future. And that's the way to do it. So well done. I'll take my hat off to you, man.
Cheers, Roy. Well, anyway, before I go, I just want to say, again, congrats on your win, Pod, and everything that you're doing through all your social media and stuff is actually helping out New Zealand arm wrestling as well.
Cheers, brother.
Thanks to you, and keep up your training, Lachlan. You're looking deadly, man. Straight up, like I can't wait to see you. Keep it up, bro, and thanks for having me on the show there, Jake.
Nah, my pleasure, guys. We'll finish it. We'll finish it up there. Go support every single thing to do with there. Of course, everyone that's been in the chat, thanks for supporting the Aussie Arm Wrestler. I obviously won't be the number 1 puller in the world like these 3, but I am gunning for that number 1 commentator position next to Neil Pickup. So that's my goal. So we're all aiming for the number 1, guys. Really appreciate your time.
Thanks, Jake.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Catch you later.